Hello guys, welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel if this is your first time here. Now if you've been following along with me, you'll know I've not been great the last few days. I've been fairly ill. Still working on that. I'm not 100% yet, but I'm enough to be here watching this with you guys. We'll look at the titles afterwards when we do a bit of a trailer breakdown. Plus I want to mention a few things that I spotted again in the first trailer that I didn't really speak about in the previous video. Okay, editor Marty popping in real quick here. Just to let you know, it's taken me such a long time to put this together. I go through the titles, I go through the trailer and the breakdown of that, and I sort of go back and forth between everything a bit. So apologies, everything's a little bit out of order on the timeline, but it makes for a nice little split up between each thing. For context, by the way, filming this video took almost 3 hours. So although it may not be the most in-depth breakdown and in-depth look at it, I hope you really enjoy me delving into the trailer and everything surrounding it. So yes, without further ado, let's watch the new Doctor Who trailer.
You ready for this?
Oh yeah, fourth wall break.
Give me the loving. Now stay back.
Oh, Ruby's mum was there. Her stepmom was there. Oh, so many things.
Oh, this is so Bridgerton.
This is Ruby.
You are wild, brave, and rude. No, you made it worse.
Shall we go?
Hey, Abbey Road.
It's you.
Space baby. Oh, is it the universe, man? Let's have a random landing.
Is it safe?
Oh, it's the girl from before. Demogorgon?
This is what we're trying to stop. All of life extinguished. You keep us safe? I will keep us safe.
Oh no. No.
Come on. We've got work to do.
Oh, that shot.
There's a storm coming in.
You called.
Honey,
I'm a much bigger bang than you bargained for.
I will shatter this silly little battlefield into dust. In a heartbeat, into dust.
Oh, that acting
I
shooty.
don't have a people, I don't have
Yes!
a home, but I have freedom. Catching monsters, getting into scrapes.
Wait, he had a gun. Jonathan
So I
Grubb.
keep moving on. To see the next thing. And the next, and the next.
Wow.
Have you ever felt
He's singing.
so alive? And that's just the beginning.
Oh, I like the logo. Okay. I'm loving it. So before we do the breakdown and also read the titles, because they weren't revealed in that, really quickly, Ncuti's acting. That scene with him saying about the dust.
I will shatter this silly little battlefield into dust. In a heartbeat, into dust.
And that absolute vitriol in his voice, the lip quivers, and he's so angry at someone or something, and you can really tell it. And it also reminds me a lot of Peter Capaldi's Doctor as well, 12.
No one else will ever have to live like this. No one else will ever have to feel this pain. Not on my watch.
And I suppose Tennant's 10th Doctor as well, with a lot of his big, powerful speeches, which unfortunately 14 didn't get when David Tennant came back. Didn't really get any of that there, but I really loved it when Tennant did it.
I'm 903 years old, and I'm the man who's going to save your lives and all 6 billion people on the planet below.
Could be why both of those are two of my favourite Doctors, because they had that range there. It looks amazing though. It looks like we're going to get a very diverse set of adventures. I just realised it kind of reminds me a little bit of the Bond sequence. You know, the gun barrel with the swirl or the circles around him, but it kind of looks a bit like a swirl. But this thing here reminds me so much of 12 when he breaks the fourth wall, but also it reminds me of the original teasers.
Do you want to come with me?
But I remember back when it was 10, we had those wonderful trailers that were released for it.
Outside those doors, we might see anything.
By the way, it occurred to me that I called Carla Ruby's stepmom. In that I meant to say Ruby's adoptive mum, but I said stepmom accidentally. Also, speaking of Unit, do you think we're going to get back that, you remember the robot alien thing that spoke to Tennant? I forgot what the name of it was, but I thought it was a really cool character. It was a robot that helped out Unit for information. This, I thought at quick glance it was Gallifrey, but it's not. I wonder if this scene, because of the sort of area it's set, it kind of looks like the same place that was in the dinosaur shots, and maybe that's why it's in a dome, is to guard it from dinosaurs. It's very strange. I'm not entirely sure what all of those buildings and stuff are. It's not very easy to see. It's weird, the quality feels so compressed on this trailer. Maybe that's for a reason, so you can't really see what's on the inside, but it looks very, very compressed. I love this shot. I didn't notice too much of this. I saw a brief glimpse of Ncuti in the coat, but I didn't notice that he had the little beanie on as well. Yeah, this is the stuff that was shot on top of that cliff. And also, it's the same place. So obviously the TARDIS gets left here, or stuck there, or the Doctor, like I said, that maybe the Doctor travels back in time. And also I want to mention something about that with another shot that we see. Yeah, it's also the same location where the TARDIS was dilapidated in the previous trailer. Do you know what? I've only just noticed that there's Big Ben on the left there. This shot here reminds me of the Doctor and Rose looking out into space in the Cassandra episode. I can't remember what it's called, but in that episode that was Christopher Eccleston and Billy Piper. Is it The End of the World? Is that what it's called? But what are these things here? See, this is on a spaceship and we see the babies later, potentially. And there's the Bridgerton thing. Oh, by the way, I meant to say that the Bridgerton line that she says in this trailer, I feel like it's a bit of a cop-out because we already get that same kind of Bridgerton line in the previous trailer.
Oh my, Bridgerton! Oh, this is so Bridgerton.
For them just keep referencing Bridgerton, I feel like they should probably reference other things. And it's so strange because there's so many people within this new Doctor Who era that have been in Bridgerton or have worked on Bridgerton. I think it's two of the actresses in this are from Bridgerton, and then one of the directors or something is directing probably this episode. Jonathan Groff. Do we think he's going to be a bad guy? It's funny in this shot. Do you know who he reminds me of? Captain Jack. I'd say maybe it is meant to be a recasting of Captain Jack, but why would they? Then again, we know why they may recast him as Captain Jack, because of the whole thing around John Barrowman, which is unfortunate. Yeah, it just kind of makes me think, and do they have something together? Or is that look of curiosity? As if to say, what are you up to? My brain still feels a bit fried and frazzled at the moment, so I thought this line was funny. The quick quip at her, and then you get this wonderful reaction afterwards from her, as if to go, what did you say? It's such a funny face. It's kind of something that I would do though. What? It's very Master as well.
Not funny. He's like this.
Oh, I have to tell you something. Today, I saw a post on Twitter, not about this, but it was a post from the Doctor Who account saying that Missy was back. And I freaked out. I went, what? Missy's back? It was a silhouette shot of her. And I thought, have I missed something? And I thought, no, they're probably just messing around. And I was scrolling through the comments and everything, and then it turns out, weirdly enough, I was getting recommended a post from 2015. I don't know why. I wasn't looking up anything specific. I was on my main page, but for some reason I was recommended a post from 2015. Also, was Missy that long ago? I didn't realise that she had been that long ago. I thought it was only, 2017, 2018, something like that. Oh, I love that you can see the roundels from the outside of the TARDIS just now. That's a nice little touch. And then you've got Abbey Road behind. I want to see how well... They did it so well. So I believe in the actual photo of Abbey Road. I'll put a picture on the screen for reference, but I can't see it. I'm going to look it up in a second. But I know that in the original picture, we had the Beetle on the left, the VW Beetle. And that looks to be saying the same number plate. This one here, this van, is the same as in the original as well. But I know they didn't film this on Abbey Road.
Nope, after doing some research, I found out they did filming on the parade in Cardiff, which there were some set photos done by people at the time. However, those didn't provide me with the information of where along the parade Cardiff they did the filming. So I went onto maps and looked up the parade Cardiff and just searched along the street and just tried to match it up with photos. On maps it looks like the road doesn't actually have white markings down the centre of it. You can actually see the white markings of the crossing on the road still though. That may have originally been a crossing in years gone by though. However, all of the buildings around match. The tree on the left was shown in some of the behind the scenes photos. Further up, there's another big building which, if you look outside of it on maps, there is a PKE lighting crew van out front of it, and this was captured in June 2023, I believe, and the filming took place in May 2023, so potentially Abbey Road filming taking place around that area? I completely forgot about the shot in the very first teaser trailer we had that shows that specific building, or at least the side of it slightly, in one very quick shot. And to verify it is the same building, you see the little wall columns thing behind them to the right, which proves that they are using that one in the filming and potentially as Abbey Road Studios. But it is only a quick shot and you probably would miss it if you blinked.
Don't blink.
Also, another thing, in the shot where the Doctor is looking out of the TARDIS, in the background, you can actually see the building that I was talking about. I can't find any confirmation of this, but I wonder if they didn't use the real Abbey Road due to how busy it was. At least the exterior shots by the crossing, etc. Potential interior shots and maybe even shots right outside Abbey Road Studios could be at the real Abbey Road. And they just use this as a less busy double. Although saying that, it's very interesting that they have that lighting van nearby, which I didn't even know was a Doctor Who lighting van. When I saw it on Google, I saw it said film and TV lighting, and I went, oh, is that for... maybe that's for Doctor Who. So I looked it up, and PKE lighting is actually used by Doctor Who. Also, quick thing to mention, I've just found out that along with PKE lighting, shadow scaffolding is also a sign of Doctor Who filming as well. Which, if you notice, the truck next to the PKE lighting truck is shadow scaffolding. Plus you got those two ominous black cars in front of the PKE lighting as well. Also, I'd found out about PKE lighting myself, but the shadow scaffolding mention was through the Doctor Who Filming Locations Twitter account. I'll put the post on the screen here for you, and it's a bit of a cheat sheet for you watching out for filming of Doctor Who. I'll leave a Google Maps link in the description, by the way, so you can check out the Abbey Road filming location for yourself. Or just look up East Grove, the Parade, Cardiff, and it seems to come up with it because East Grove is the road just along from it. One quick thing to mention, this building that I keep saying about is potentially a disused college building. To me, after the Googling I found, it looks to be flats and it is just labelled as a house on Google Maps. But it is definitely one they're using in the show, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was meant to be the double of Abbey Road, because Abbey Road has stairs leading up to the entrance and that has stairs leading up to its entrance, even though the buildings look entirely different. To be fair, this is kind of what I expected Abbey Road to look like in real life, more than what the actual Abbey Road does look like. But the only other things that I've seen is pictures of an interior of another college that is being used for the Jinx Monsoon stuff, potentially anyway, according to Doctor Who Filming Locations on Twitter. Also, just want to say, the corner opposite the road that's used, there's a church that for 1 second I thought was the church from Father's Day, because the road around it is very similar.
Wait, this symbol here in the sky, isn't that a Time Lord symbol? Are they trying to warn people, or is this not planet Earth? Because it's got the ring around it as well. So what is going on? That looks like planet Earth, but it's got rings, like Saturn's rings, but rings around it. It kind of looks like the planet's been held hostage. Maybe that's the sign of the Time Lords to say, but the Time Lords, didn't they die? I was going to say, yeah, maybe the planet's being held hostage, and that's like their symbol to say, stay away, or this planet is ours. Talking babies as well. Oh wait, in the space babies thing, to the left of the Doctor. There, that thing. So when Ruby's looking out of the spaceship window, which could be this here, could be this scene here. Look, there's the window there behind. That could be what she looks out of. And this is what's on the left of that shot. In this shot here. This looks like the same set, and that this roughly here is where Ruby and the Doctor are standing in this shot here. Okay, in regards to the episode titles, I have found them on the BBC page. And there's also these title... it takes me back to something that I completely forgot to mention. So back when I did the last video, I already kind of went over a lot of details of the trailer of what I thought. But one thing I forgot to mention in that was something that I spotted whilst I was editing. And that was the TARDIS looks like it's dematerializing or appearing behind them. If you're wondering what I'm on about, either that or there's just this is a slow motion shot and there's just a lot of flicker from the lights used on the TARDIS itself due to frame rates and light frequencies, etc. But in this, I wondered if maybe the TARDIS was there was an error, a malfunction with it, maybe reverts back to a previous location, which turns out to be the top of that cliff. The reason I'm saying it is watch the TARDIS lights when I press play. The light on the top and the door lights, all of it seem to flicker, which looks to me more like it is a frame rate, light frequency thing going on. You could have just taken a segment of the TARDIS there whilst it was lit up and continued that over the rest of it, or applied an anti-flickering effect over the top of that to stop it from flickering. Maybe trying to get the trailer out quick, they didn't do that. Or potentially the TARDIS is appearing, disappearing, materializing, dematerializing. But yeah, it was just something I noticed, and I don't believe that I mentioned it in the last video. There was something else as well that I mentioned, if and when I can see the reference again, and yeah, I'll come back to it. So, Space Babies, written by Russell T Davies, directed by Julianne Robinson. Then we move on, The Devil's Cord. I love this episode title. It's very, very Doctor Who. It's got that mystique, just very timeless, no puns intended, with it being a time travel show. The Devil's Cord. The Devil's Cord is such a wonderfully done title. The next one as well isn't a Russell T Davies episode. It's actually Stephen Moffat. Boom. That's, I don't know, the Boomtown is what it reminds me of, but it's going to be an explosive episode. I wonder if there was a reason why it was called Boom. Initials spelling out something and that spells boom. Maybe it's going to be like Bad Wolf written everywhere. Oh, I believe actually, sorry, I've just remembered something I saw. I think there's little videos that go along with these titles as well. Okay, let's read through the episode titles first, and then we'll see if there are things that go along with them. So 73 yards. What is 73 yards about? How far something is from you? How long something is? This one's Russell T Davies and directed by Dylan Holmes Williams. 73 yards is a very ominous title, but simple at the same time. But it's nicer than Boom. I feel Boom is a very simple title, whereas 73 yards has something mysterious about it. You don't know what 73 yards, but at the same time is something very ordinary that is most likely going to be very deadly. Dot and Bubble. Was that a girl called Dot and she lives in a bubble? I don't know. Hey, maybe she's Dot. This was just, I was quickly flicking through trying to find the shot of the dome that we saw earlier. Yes, I know it's a dome and not a bubble. But yeah, is this the bubble they're talking about? Because it could be considered a bubble. And then maybe Dot, the girl that we keep seeing. Also, going back to the first trailer, by the way, just a quick thing to say. I know I've been mentioning about those Doctor Who symbols, you know, the Time Lord symbols. In this shot from trailer 1, the same kind of planet shots, that symbol is not there on the planet. Or if it is, it's further round. Then again, this shot in trailer 2, it's not in, or that might be just there on the edge. Yeah, I'm starting to wonder if maybe that is Dot, who's in a bubble, maybe, because that is surrounding her. Maybe she's in like a protective bubble. 60s headband on there. What looks like a 60s outfit. I think this is the 60s outfit still. I thought it was more futuristic. Also, yeah, and considering this trailer here is in HD. This trailer is also in HD, but it's so heavily compressed. Whereas this one actually looks quite crisp and clear. I heard somewhere that this was taken from a 4K master copy of the trailer. Because on Disney Plus, I want to say it is, it's in 4K. I don't know about this one. That girl we see there is the same girl as here. Not only this potentially being Dot.
Okay, I'm very confused about something that I found. I found an article with Callie Cooke, the girl who plays in the Dot and Bubble episode. However, this is a post from Hampstead Theatre in 2015. Now, while this doesn't sound weird, this post mentions about Doctor Who. Originally, I'd done a little bit of voiceover about a question that's in there about Doctor Who, but I failed to read the beginning of the article, which also says about Doctor Who. I thought it was just a random question. So the question that I originally saw was, what would your dream role be? And she says, okay, so I really want to be the next Doctor Who's apprentice. But then, getting to represent girls like Tia really is something. Stuff that makes a difference. Now what I love is that her question became true in the end, that she wanted to become a Doctor Who's apprentice, and now she is starring in a main episode. as one of the main characters from what we can see. However, IMDb still doesn't show it, but I suppose it's probably not added there because then it would give away her name. And this was around the same time that she was playing in Firebird. But here's the new thing I found when I went back to the article to grab a screenshot. The first thing the article says is, "We grabbed 5 minutes to chat with Callie Cooke about Doctor Who." But why would they say about Callie Cooke in Doctor Who? She's never been in Doctor Who before, and I can't seem to find any mention of her previously being in an episode, even if it was just playing an extra or a voiceover or something, but nothing. But the post was definitely done in 2015, so whether or not they've gone back and they've added in the mention of Doctor Who, which does seem strange, why did they mention about Callie Cooke in Doctor Who way back in 2015? Anyway, I thought I'd mention it because I haven't seen anyone else mention this, so yeah, fun bits of information.
And also with this, which I noticed a second ago whilst researching, this is the Dot and Bubble sort of title card, whether or not it's for the episode or not, but if you look, this is the same thing, the pattern that's surrounding that girl. And it sounds a bit sort of like a game or something. These kind of look like profile pictures of people, but it's going to be some kind of game show, maybe a dating game show, or you have to live in a bubble and hope to live, because there's a monster that we see after seeing the shot of the girl. Is that in relation to it? But it's just so weird that her bubble, or the thing that's surrounding her, the squares, look like these. For the graphics, they could be playing on them being trapped in a bubble, and maybe the girl, potentially, is called Dot. The monster could be called Bubble. Or she could be called Bubble. I was trying to read that word there, which I think is offline. Slightly Stranger Things, but it's pretty cool. Scary as well. Then we've also got this very, very ominous and eerie The Devil's Chord, with the music notes floating off the paper. And this beautifully done book on the front that glows, or changes colour anyway. Then you also got Boom. Not really much to that one, apart from it says clearance at the top. Clearance something. This one is beautiful. Look at this. I know what this is from the first trailer. You know the shot I said looked like a TARDIS as a lamppost? It's that, to do with the pub. Is the episode called this, but it's based around the pub? Wait, 73 yards. We keep seeing that thing behind Ruby, or approaching Ruby. You maybe see the guy far off in what I believe was the teaser trailer, but then we also see the person standing behind Ruby. 1863 as well. Is that a reference to something? I know it's meant to be when the pub was made, etc., but yes, we've got Space Babies, Devil's Chord, Boom, 73 Yards, Dot and Bubble, then Rogue. Rogue is going to be the sort of Regency type Pride and Prejudice, Jane Austen sort of Bridgerton episode with Lord Adams, Lord Alex, I presume Lord Edward, and Smith. I like he's going by the name. If that's going to be John Smith, then yeah, the Doctor going by the name. The Duchess of Pemberton. Lovely. 8th of May 1813. Okay, the next one is The Legend of Ruby Sunday. It's going to be to do with television, which I didn't expect by the name. The Legend of Ruby Sunday. Very Doctor Who episode name. But also the legend. Why the legend? Also interesting that it's called The Legend of Ruby Sunday and not the story of Ruby Sunday or whatever. And I know we do overuse legend in different ways, but with it being a TV show, it kind of makes it seem like it's going to be her actually being a legend. Do you remember what I said about her time traveling? Well, legend means someone from history. Has she done an Amy and Rory and gone back in time? Or has she maybe even done a Catherine Nightingale from the Sally Sparrow episode Blink, where she goes back in time? This is what I kind of referenced to in the previous trailer. But is that the whole Legend of Ruby Sunday thing? She's gone that far back in time that she's now become a legend and that she did a lot of things. Also in this The Devil's Chord opener thing, we've got the Ring a Ring of Roses thing playing. I could hear the creepy tune out of my headphones and going, what is that? And last but not least, after The Legend of Ruby Sunday, you've got Empire of Death. Another fantastic episode name, and this is the title card for it, as in the promo imagery thing. And quite apt, they're using the TARDIS image that flickers like I said about in that other image of the TARDIS. I did see some speculation around Empire of Death being almost a Dalek storyline, or some kind of alien that we've seen before, which could be a nice setup for season 2. if that is the finale episode. Right, back to the trailer breakdown. We got the talking babies. So we've got the girl who I think could be called Dot. And then you've got this monster, which I remember seeing imagery of this thing ages ago, but it says forward on it. Why does it say forward? Yeah, in this shot here, look at the mouth. Look at the mouth open there. Kind of reminds me of a Demogorgon. If you don't know what Demogorgon are, by the way, they're the creatures from Stranger Things. And they look similar to that with the open mouths. She's like, who am I? I'm lost. Almost like she's unsure what to do. And then what is that burning up there? Look at the shots previous to that. The way the clouds are behind and the structure in the background. This thing here is what we were seeing before. Has the Doctor left in the TARDIS without Ruby, or has Ruby gone in the TARDIS somewhere for some reason somehow? Or has the TARDIS just dematerialized and they just disappeared? Have a look here, the lights in the windows, they look like they move slightly, which wouldn't be affected by anything outside the TARDIS. See, look, looks different. Something made me think about the previous trailer. You know what I was saying about the Time Lord language being written on that planet? In the first trailer, we get this shot of the vortex. Look at this pattern here. Is this the Time Lord signals being sent throughout time? Message being given to the TARDIS? And that's why it's throttling its way back to them? Yeah, we get these two here having a heart-to-heart with each other about keeping us safe. And then we get this beautiful shot of Millie, look. Looking like she's about to lose the world. Lose everything. And it looks like the street behind is her street. Like she's looking at... Do you think she knows maybe she's gonna leave somehow and that she knows her fate? And she's thinking about her adoptive mum? And then to follow that we get this shot of Ncuti crying. Which I believe is from the same point, you know, when he says about the battlefield and the turning to dust thing. It kind of looks like the same place. This bit here, it looks like the same place. See what I mean? And he's wearing the same outfit as well with the epaulets on his shoulders. So I don't know what's going on. Is this him reacting to Millie having gone? Or is this him realising that someone is still alive that he didn't think was? But he's got the quivery lip there. It feels like, and the tears, and that's it. Feels like maybe he's going to lose someone that he loves, like Millie. And then it also is curious because we are followed by this shot. Whenever Doctor Who does these shots, this is what I was saying when I saw the trailer, whenever Doctor Who does these shots where we're looking from a little bit further away from our main character of the Doctor and we're looking at a character like this, it's usually like I think they did it with Matt Smith or with David Tennant when they were doing the Doctor, and they would almost lovingly look at a character and we would see it from like this, looking over their shoulder, almost reminiscing on good times, and almost out of body look at this character, not in the moment, but you're just sort of there watching what they're doing and remembering this is her. Almost like he's come back and come back to this time, and that's not him at that moment, but from a future time, and she's gone and he's come back and is watching her from afar. Look, it's this prolonged shot on her. I suppose there is a hint of sadness there, or of wonder and curiousness about the way she is. But it's this, something that I've seen before done in Doctor Who with the setup of the shot. And then we get this shot of the smoke, which at really quick glance, I kept thinking here in the smoke, and I've rewound this quite a couple of times. See all the little black dots in that? I kept wondering if they were Daleks. I know they've said the Daleks aren't in this, but look, we keep seeing stuff in the smoke moving or appearing through it. Something's pushing through that smoke. This moves unnaturally to the smoke and to its surroundings. It almost bumps and jumps. So I don't believe it could be. It might be something has fallen. Where is this? Middle of London. And this is one of the big buildings potentially has fallen, and that's why we've got all the smoke. And that is what we're seeing rushing through here, is like a building top rushing towards them. Kind of like in, was it Cloverfield did it, where they had the shot of the Statue of Liberty's head or bust kind of area being thrown down the street, and then we got all the smoke and this thing thrown towards us, kind of like that. Here, there's something there. I kind of feel like they've done a, you know, like when the Spider-Man trailer came out and they did that thing with the Spider-Man trailer and they removed some things, and I'm not going to say what in case you've not seen it. I'm not a huge Marvel fan, but I know Spider-Man and I know what they did in that trailer. But anyway, this kind of makes me wonder, have they removed things out? If there is something meant to be there? What is this thing here? Is it a spaceship that's fallen? Oh God, I've just thought, what if it's unit towers falling? I don't know where these buildings are meant to be in London, but presumably they're mid-London. But they kind of remind me of the buildings where you look through and you can see the Shard on the other side of the road. But they kind of remind me of it's not the same place because I don't believe there's a road like this with traffic lights going to it. But they remind me of a gap, and I've taken a photo there before, where you can see the Shard on the other side of the River Thames. So like, what is this? I'd say potentially some of these things are dirt. Okay, I just spent an unreasonable amount of time trying to find where in London this is, because I kind of know where it could be. But so I was trying to figure it out by the numbers on the traffic lights. The only other thing that would have given us some details is to follow the route of the bus that's here. The downside is such bad quality, you can't see the name on the bus. This shot of Jinx is just wonderful. Yeah, Ruby here, obviously because of the get up, but she's in the Abbey Road Studios, I believe, on this shot, or at least the Abbey Road Studios, the ones from the Beatles episode, because that's the bit behind that. There's a piano there. This area is the exact same place that I said about earlier where I thought the TARDIS disappears, where Ruby stood in front of it. The intense acting. Also, I have to laugh. I saw this shot on the trailer and my immediate thought was Coronation Street with the rooftop shot with the camera pans up. And it's funny because I remember Russell T Davies saying at one point in an interview with Millie Gibson, and I believe they then joke about either shots of the cobbles or of the rooftops.
About that cat and the cobbles and Millie Gibson. I'll have a word with them, don't worry, think about it.
And there's Ncuti in the get up from the Rogue episode. I just thought of something really strange. So I kept seeing these shots here were almost like them over time, as if they were standing in the same place. This shot here and this shot is almost like they're standing in the same place, looking at the same thing, but in different time periods. This is the shot of Jonathan Groff with the gun that I was saying about, and it's from the episode Rogue. So does that mean Jonathan Groff is going to be the Rogue, or is it a thing to throw us off the scent because we're seeing it in the trailer? But it's interesting that he's an old-fashioned guy with a gun that's more modern and futuristic, or some kind of alien technology anyway. Even though I said I thought it was a time travel device at first, I believe other people have said that this is a landmine, and that was it activating there. Oh, I like that shot. The TARDIS there, going through the vortex. The vortex is almost split away from itself, like it's the remnants of the vortex as they come into the time. You can see here, it's almost like ink splatter, sort of, I don't know, it acts differently. Because they're in the vortex 1 second, and then they slowly come out. So look, they're in the vortex there, and then they slowly come out and it dissipates. That shot there of Ncuti is the one we saw on the teasers, one of the very first teasers. There's Millie over there on the right. It's interesting we got the Doctor singing Saving the Butterfly, which stops the change to Ruby happening. This kind of gives away that they are going to make things right again. I kind of wish they didn't include this in there. So you go, oh, what's going to happen? I know you know technically that it's going to get better, but I love these musical shots. And the Doctor, love it. We do see a figure standing sort of there. It's a very Nardole look, isn't it?
No.
Also a bit Paddington Bear, but with a hat.
Good afternoon, he said. Can I help you?
Wooden buttons for ease of pull? And these 2 sandwich compartments are an excellent idea.
I don't know if this was part of the TARDIS before, but what I love is this camera viewfinder that we've got here. You see it? It's almost like an eyepiece that you get on a big studio camera. It's also kind of strange that we get a shot of Ruby and then literally 2 shots later, even a shot later, I think, because you got this one and then the shot of the Doctor in the same place. It's also interesting it's just the Doctor and it's not the Doctor and Ruby doing these little pieces, whereas back when they had companions before, they would always do it with both. I wonder if that's on purpose so they can reuse these shots of him saying these things. They've probably filmed more as well, but him saying these things, they can include them in future promos. Yeah, that's the end of it. That's I love this whole gorgeous colour of the intro with the new logo. I think I much prefer that, and I have said for a while now, I really like the plain colour logo looking like that. Don't get me wrong, I like the really colourful version of it, but I think the flat lay of just that by itself looks really nice. Oh, do you know what I've just noticed? When that logo appears, look at how it comes in with the vortex smoke and that around it there, and the colour fades in with the outline fading in separately as well. It's gorgeous. Look at this, look at that there. It almost reflects in a silhouette form, but some of the things reflect the fire or the colour around it. This here kind of looks a bit like Jodie Whittaker's opener style, with the pulsating blobs. But this here, yeah, I love the way it comes in. I kind of wish it was a bit more silhouette at first and then comes on this light. It's there and it's silhouette in slow motion. You can see it. God, that's gorgeous. And the little shine you get in there as well. Just there. Before that fully lights up. I think there's a bit of a gleam shine just there as well. I'm colourblind, but I can just about see there's like a shine thing going on in the lettering. That's just my very raw thoughts on the trailer, and it's really nice being able to put something out like this where I find out information along with you guys, like I do with my trivia on films, but I don't often do this kind of thing. I recorded an entire outro for this and then realised I was on the wrong screen.
An idiot!
I hope you really enjoyed this. I don't believe there was anything else that I needed to cover in this video. If you guys are interested, we also watch Classic Who on the channel, and speaking of Classic Who, I am now at the end of season 1, so the first William Hartnell series. I've watched all of that now, so my plan, I've still yet to put out the next 2 videos of that classic series, but I can finally say that I've watched the first season, or the first series. I prefer saying series, but you know. But because we have now seen that first series, it's time for something in our run, which I think I did mention on the last Classic Who video. But once I put out the next 2 videos of Classic Who's, I'd like to then take a tiny detour as a film reaction to watch the very first Peter Cushing movie of Doctor Who, which, yes, I know, isn't actually our Doctor Who. It's not the series Doctor Who. It's something entirely different. It's about a human who is called the Doctor, I think. I have yet to watch it, but that's my plan. And then in Classic Who, at some point, there is the Dalek Invasion Earth storyline, for which, after that, we will be watching the Peter Cushing film called Dalek Invasion Earth. And then at some point in the future, we'll also be watching, most likely at the end of the William Hartnell run, so I think it's 4.5 seasons, we'll then be watching an adventure in time and space. And I believe that's the right kind of place to do it in. And even though I believe it starts with the creation of Doctor Who, you know, around the first part of the first series, this is kind of what I've had to read into without knowing too much about it. But I believe at the end of that is William Hartnell leaving the role and regenerating into the next Doctor. Please let me know in the comments though if that is set around a different time, if that isn't when I should watch it, if I should watch it at some other point. But I hope you guys can join me at some point in the future for the films of Doctor Who, as well as that adventure in time and space. But those will be coming as uncuts first at some point soon, hopefully. At least the first film will be, not the other ones. I'm not going to watch those until after I've seen the series versions of them. Yeah, those will be coming to uncuts, both over on Patreon and as a YouTube members video as well, which this will be the first time of properly kind of mentioning on the channel. But yes, you can sign up to be a YouTube member and you get both early accesses, just like on Patreon, and uncuts, just like on Patreon as well. Plus, you also get access to the stickers and emotes, I want to say they're called. I know there's pictures of little things that I've done. I've done a David Tennant little thing, like there's a James Stewart one, and I believe there's also a videotape one. But yeah, you can check those out. You just go onto the main YouTube page and there's a join button, click on that, and it will give you the tiers, and you can sign up to one if you would like to. If not, you can go over to the Patreon page, and it's pretty much exactly the same over there, but you don't get the emote slash sticker things, because for some reason they don't do them over there. If they ever do, then I'll do the same thing. I'll bring them over there. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys. Hopefully you've enjoyed hearing my thoughts on it all. But yeah, I'm going to go and rest now. Thank you so much for watching. If you do like this, then consider clicking the like button, and also consider subscribing as well, because we do watch Classic Who, and obviously you've got the film stuff coming up as well for it. So I can't wait for all of that. Take care, stay safe, and hopefully I get to see you next time for another venture in time and space in our TARDIS. Bye-bye.
Do not forget to click below to subscribe to the YouTube channel.
If you're still here to the very end, then thank you so much, and also a huge thank you to my wonderful patrons: Roger C. Griffith, Douglas Collier, Terry V, Miggy Love, Chris Holmes, Jojo, Thomas Masters, Shoehorn1234, Res, Patrick Durr, Andrew Blount, Carlos, Marla Mize, Rob, Chandra Blair, Scott, Paul Zawicki, Randy, Kirsten, Juan Pablo Camero, JL, Maggie, Freya Alexandra, Milo, Miranda, Edna, Gina Aman, Tess Avaland, Olivia, Maria Stoicheva, Neno, Megan Janoviak, Rainy Tomo, Strawberry Tree, Kirsten Bailey, Boobly Boo, Louise Vanderhoven, Aubrey Terry, Wraithist, Heidi Steele, City D, Bumblebee, Joshua, Jesse, Rena Burrow, Meet, Lolita Verbakovskia, Eli, Holly Jeffries, Alenka Hafner, HM Garth, Chloe Grover, Neb, Kyle Baker, Abby Barker, Tom Tattershall, Kristen Olds, Tillycham, Laura Hutchison, Tara M. Wilcoxon, Sazzy Nation, Ferdinand Pitchard, Jim K, Sphere, Mel Days, Fran in the Pen, BG, Tara, Rags and Muffins, Nameless Human Being, Deb, Philippa Chapman, Emily, Panda, David Wayne Fox, Jessica Asakovich, Sue Pro, Naja in Workshop, Mike Tunnicliffe, Wolfgang Wolf, Lee, and Harvey. If you'd like to see more videos, there's some more on the screen right now. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and see you next time.